The fog clung to the coastal town of Seahaven like a shroud. It drifted in from the sea, cold and damp, obscuring the harbor and swallowing the houses on the cliffs. The salt air carried with it the scent of decay, of secrets whispered and never spoken aloud. Seahaven had always been a place of shadows and murmurs, where the past lingered like the fog itself.
It's so eerie here. I just arrived this morning, but already the town has sunk its teeth into my imagination. I can feel the weight of unseen eyes, hear the phantom creak of the town's hidden history.
Elena, a young journalist with a thirst for the unusual, had come seeking a story. She found herself instead drawn into a mystery that coiled around her like the fog, cold and inescapable. Elena had heard the whispers about Seahaven's abandoned radio station. Perched precariously on the edge of the cliffs, it stood as a skeletal reminder of a bygone era. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, their voices tight with fear and superstition. They said it was haunted, cursed by the ghost of its last operator.
This must be it. She's Seahaven's voice.
Her fingers traced the faded lettering on the door. The paint peeled like scabs, revealing the rotting wood beneath. Elena felt a tremor of anticipation, a thrill that coursed through her veins like a jolt of electricity. This was it, the heart of the mystery. She had come to Seahaven seeking a story, but what she found was something far more potent, far more dangerous. The old radio station had once been a beacon of hope, a lifeline connecting the isolated town to the outside world. It was more than just a station, it was the heartbeat of the community. Samuel Hawthorne, the station's operator, was a local legend. His dedication to his craft was unmatched. His smooth voice and comforting presence had been a source of solace during the long, dark nights. People would gather around their radios, hanging on his every word. Then one stormy evening, Hawthorne vanished. The town was plunged into a state of shock and confusion. He was in the middle of his broadcast, delivering his usual calm and reassuring messages, his voice crackling over the airwaves when it happened. The transmission suddenly became erratic.
"This is Samuel Hawthorne, signing off." His final words echoed eerily.
The transmission cut out abruptly, leaving listeners in stunned silence, replaced by a deafening silence. The once lively airwaves were now void of his presence. Search parties scoured the coast, but Hawthorne was never found. The mystery deepened with each passing day. Some whispered of a rogue wave that swept him away, a tragic accident that claimed his life. Others of a more sinister end, speculating foul play or a deliberate disappearance. The radio station, once a symbol of connection, went silent. Its silence was a stark reminder of the loss. It stood now as a monument to the unknown, a relic of a bygone era, a haunted shell buffeted by the relentless wind. The whispers of the past lingered, carried by the coastal breeze. The air inside the station was thick with dust and the smell of decay, a testament to years of abandonment. Elena stepped cautiously, her footsteps echoing in the cavernous space, each sound amplifying the eerie silence that enveloped the station. Cobwebs draped the control room like ghostly curtains, and the equipment sat untouched, frozen in time as if waiting for someone to bring it back to life. She ran her fingers over the dusty dials and switches, imagining Hawthorne's hand on the microphone, his voice booming out into the night, filling the airwaves with his presence.
What's this? Old reel-to-reel tapes? They look ancient.
Elena discovered a cache of old reel-to-reel tapes tucked away in a corner, hidden beneath layers of dust and forgotten memories. They were Hawthorne's recordings, his broadcasts from the final weeks leading up to his mysterious disappearance. As she threaded the tape and pressed play, a chill snaked down her spine, anticipation mingling with dread. Hawthorne's voice, once warm and reassuring, now crackled with an undercurrent of fear, a stark contrast to the man she remembered. He spoke of strange occurrences, of whispers in the static, of a presence that haunted the airwaves, an unseen force that seemed to watch his every move.
"There's something here. I can feel it, watching me. It's always there, lurking."
Samuel, can you hear me?
Then, she heard it. A voice, low and guttural, whispering Hawthorne's name, sending a jolt of fear through her. It was faint, almost indistinguishable from the static, but it sent shivers down her spine, a chilling reminder of the unknown. The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the station.
These recordings, each one more unsettling than the last.
Hawthorne's fear was palpable, his voice growing increasingly frantic as the days went by. He spoke of the voice, an entity that whispered to him through the static that seemed to grow stronger with each passing broadcast. As darkness fell, Elena became aware of a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. Shadows seemed to writhe at the edge of her vision, and she could have sworn she heard the faint echo of whispers just beyond the reach of her hearing.
I can't shake off this feeling of unease.
Despite her efforts, it clung to her like the fog outside. Days turned into nights, and still Elena returned to the radio station. The mystery of Samuel Hawthorne and the voice had woven its way into her mind, a puzzle she couldn't let go of.
There's something I'm missing, something more.
She listened to the recordings over and over, each time noticing new details, new layers of fear in Hawthorne's voice. She began to experience strange occurrences of her own. Objects moved inexplicably. Whispers seemed to follow her through the empty rooms.
What was that?
Once, she felt a cold breath on the back of her neck, a chilling sensation that sent her running from the station in terror. Yet, despite the fear, Elena felt an undeniable pull towards the station, an obsession that grew stronger with each passing day. A storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil in Elena's heart. Rain lashed against the windows of the radio station, and the wind howled like a banshee. She sat in the control room, Hawthorne's final recording playing on the reel-to-reel. His voice was a frantic whisper filled with terror and resignation.
What happened to you, Hawthorne?
Then the static erupted. The guttural voice boomed through the speakers, louder than ever before.
Darkness, despair, a hunger that can never be satiated.
Elena felt a cold hand close around her throat, squeezing the air from her lungs. She struggled against the unseen force, her vision blurring at the edges. Panic surged through Elena as she realized the horrifying truth. The voice wasn't just a figment of Hawthorne's imagination. It was a chilling reality. It was real, and it was here with her now, in the very room she stood. She was trapped, her fate mirroring that of the vanished radio operator who had disappeared without a trace. Her fingers scrabbled at the microphone, a desperate attempt to break free from the invisible chains.
No, this can't be happening. This must be a nightmare.
As she drew her last breath, Elena felt a strange sense of peace wash over her. The struggle was over, and she surrendered to the inevitable. She was no longer in control of her own destiny. The guttural voice resonated through the speakers, stronger and more menacing than ever.
Forever entwined, with the souls it has claimed, never to be separated.
But this time, it was intertwined with another voice, a faint echo of Elena's own terror and despair, merging into one. The final broadcast had begun, signaling the end of an era. The radio station, silent for so long, was once again alive with the sound of the voice, forever entwined with the souls it had claimed, echoing through the ages.